Hi everyone, this is Becky from My Creative Life. Today I'll share our journal layout with you guys, and you can see I am digging into my brand new Dina Wakley blue journal. It's the one that features those really awesome fabric pages. There are burlap pages in here as well as the beautiful denim pages, and that's one of the main reasons I got this journal, because of those fabric pages. But today I am not gonna use those. I will use just the white page, and it's thick, it is nice. I loved working on it. I used a lot of water on it. I did not add any gesso beforehand. I used a lot of water with my acrylic paints, and it blended beautifully. I am a little intimidated by the fabric pages, but I am building up to it. Maybe next time I'll go ahead and work on the blue denim side of this 2-page layout that I'm gonna be doing today. So here I pulled out some Dina Wakley collage pages. I wanted to use this girl, and you'll see I'll flip through a few pages, go a little bit forward because I want her to be on the left page. So I'll flip over and I'll find the white page that's on the left, and that's where I'm gonna add this layout. And you guys know I'm used to doing 2-page layouts, and today was a little bit different, just doing 1 page. And hopefully next time I won't have an issue filling that blue denim side, because I definitely want both sides to blend nicely together. So right now I am gonna use that girl on my left page, and let's go ahead and get started. Now, if you guys are interested to know the exact colors that I used on the layout and all of the items, I will have them all listed in my description box below. So I'm gonna begin by spraying my white page here, the left side where I'll be working today, with my mister that's from Tim Holtz, his spray mist bottle. And I'm gonna add some Dina Wakley acrylic paints, and I cannot remember the colors that I used, but like I said before, I'll go ahead and list them down below. Now I did choose a lighter pink and a darker pink, and I also chose a purple. And I love how all 3 of these colors go together. Now you can see that I pulled out this dauber. It's basically just a sponge. I'm gonna wet it first. It's a coarse sponge, and it's from Bria Reese, I think it is. And I'm just daubing it up and down. I get a really nice texture. Now the paper itself has a bit of texture to it, and just using this on top of it, I love the effect that I got. So you can see I blended out the lightest color, and now I am going in with the second pink I added and blended it into the lighter color. And I'm just gonna spray every now and then because I wanna make sure that my background is moist, because it helps the colors blend out a lot nicer, a lot easier, especially with the technique of using that sponge, daubing it the way I am. I am not swiping my paint back and forth to get a smooth effect at all. So here I'm just gonna go ahead and blend in the purple. And I love how these 3 colors went together. It's really lovely how it looks. So here I'm just gonna continue blending out the purple into those pinks. And I move way up my page, but you will see the lighter colors peeking through. And I do add a little bit of water in between just to keep the blending a lot easier to do. Now here I just added in just a tiny bit of the lightest pink that I used and blended that on top of the lower portion of my layout just to lighten it up a tiny bit. So now I'm laying the girl down on my layout, and I'm using some Dina Wakley matte gel medium to go ahead and adhere my collage paper on top of my page. And you can see there, once you add that matte medium on the top of the collage paper, it disappears into the background, so it looks as though you drew the girl on that page, which is something I love about these collage pages. I have a whole bunch of them in my stash because I cannot draw, and I love using focal points such as this on my layouts. So this is a really, really awesome option for those of us who cannot draw these faces. There are so many different types of faces that Dina Wakley have available in her collage packs. So I'm just gonna go ahead and rip off the edge on the left side here because it's hanging off the page, and I didn't want to cut it off. I didn't want to have to add the medium all the way to the end without having an edge to seal in. So I'm going to rip off just a part of the left side. And here my girl is all set. She's stuck on that page. You cannot even notice the collage paper. And I'm using my silicone brush there to just remove all of the excess matte gel medium, which is very, very easy to do using that silicone brush. So I'm going to use my heat tool right now before I do anything else and make sure it's nice and dry. And now I'm going to darken up my edges. So I'm going to use the purple paint that I used before. And I'm using the same coarse dauber. I'm going around the edges, leaving the edge of the layout darker and then blending it into the layout where it's going to be slightly lighter. You can see I am not going in to the center of this 2-page spread. I'm just working with the 3 outer edges. And now I'm going to use some of this gold paint just to add a little bit of highlights here using this stencil. And this stencil is from Paper Rose. I recently got this one and I love these circles. So I thought it would be a nice subtle touch in the background. And I'm using that Gilt Gold paint. It's from Dina Wakley. And you can see I'm using 2 designs. One is straight lines, and then one is some circles, some smaller circles inside that circle shape. So I'm just going to go ahead and add this all around my girl. I am not adding anything more to her face. I wanted it left exactly how it is. Now once I'm done adding the stenciling, I'm going to go in with my fingers and just add a border of gold using what paint was left up there. Before I do that, I am going to use the excess paint actually to daub all over the denim page. And I do use more gold paint on my finger to add the edge around my girl. And you can see I'm just working on the 3 outer edges of this layout. I'm not going in on the inside part on the spine. Now the gold border was a little bit too bright and bold, so I'm gonna tone it down a little bit using that purple paint. Once again, I am not sure of the exact color, what it's called, but I'll add that down below. And now to make sure my girl is nice and highlighted, I'm using a big brush marker, a Faber-Castell big brush marker here, and just going over the outline that's already there on the collage paper and just brightening up the lines using that big brush marker. So now I was not sure what to do, what was next. I know I wanted to add a title or quote, but I wanted something else, but I didn't want to take away too much from what was already here. So I found this package of sequins and circle tissues and also gold foil paper, and I'm going to use that in the top left corner right now, sort of like here, and it's not exactly here but sort of like here. Now once I add it to the top left corner, I figure I need to balance it out, so I'm going to add some to the lower right side of her face. Eventually it made its way all the way up to the top of the page, and this is what I ended up with, which I am in love with. I love how this turned out. The little bit of glitter you get from those circle foil pieces, the tissue, there's a sort of a tealy green that was in there as well, and it gave it another color, a contrasting color with what was already on this layout. So now I'm going to add in my quote. I'm using one of the Dina Wakley quotes, her tissue collage paper again. I'm going to add that into the lower left side of the layout using the matte gel medium. And once I added that in, I blended it in nicely with some of the color, but it was a little bit too dark. So you'll see I wipe off just a tiny bit of the excess here. And I'm gonna go in with my Faber-Castell brush marker and outline all of those words which says, you are beautiful, you are loved, you are beloved, you are infinite. And here I'm gonna give you guys a close-up look as well as some still shots for this layout. I really love how this turned out, and I hope you guys found this process easy enough that you can give it a try. And I hope you come back and join me for another layout very soon. So I want to thank you all for watching today, and until my next video, bye.